Level 1. The Kuzu. In the clan, you aren't even a person yet. You're scrap. You're the dirt they use to build a foundation. You don't get a mask, you don't get a blade. You get 4 hours of sleep on a stone floor and 16 hours of agony. You spend your days balancing on posts until your legs scream, or holding your breath underwater until your lungs feel like they're filled with hot coals. The masters don't speak to you, they only correct you with a bamboo staff. You watch the older genin leap across the rooftops like ghosts, their movements silent as a falling leaf. You feel heavy, clumsy, and weak. But you stay. You stay because the only thing scarier than the training is the world outside these mountains. A world where your village was burned and your family is gone. You realize that to survive a world of monsters, you have to become one. You don't learn how to fight yet. You learn how to suffer. Level 2. The Akko. You've survived the scrap phase. Now they start to fill your head with poison. You learn the chemistry of shadows. You spend weeks in a cramped cellar learning how to mix crushed insects and gunpowder to create a blinding flash. You learn how to walk on rice paper without making a sound. You're given your first tool, not a sword, but a simple iron spike. You're told it's not for killing, it's for opening doors. You are the invisible servant. You carry the gear for the higher ranks. You learn that a ninja's greatest weapon isn't his strength, but his ability to be forgotten. You hear rumors of a rival clan, the Fuma, moving into the valley below. They've been intercepting the Shogun's messengers. The air in the mountain fortress is different now. The masters are whispering. You're still just an apprentice, but you start sleeping with your spike under your pillow. You're learning that a shadow that doesn't move is just a target. Level 3. The Genin. You're finally in the field. But don't get arrogant. You're still the lowest man on the mission. You're the one they send through the narrow crawl space that's too small for a grown man. You're the one who sits in the freezing mud for 10 hours just to count how many guards walk past the north gate. Your first real mission is a simple scroll theft. You're crouched on a rooftop in the capital, the smell of wood smoke and expensive sake wafting up from the courtyard. Below you, samurai in heavy armor patrol with lanterns. There is no honor here. If you get caught, the clan will disown you, and your head will end up on a spike. You feel the cold iron of the scroll in your hand. Your heart is hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird, but your hands are steady. You move when the wind blows, masking the sound of your footsteps. You're starting to realize that the difference between a master and a corpse is just one breath. Level 4, the Chunin. You've graduated from being a tool to being the hand that wields it. You lead a cell of 3 genin. Their lives are in your hands, and you realize that's a heavier weight than any gear. The rival Fuma clan isn't just a rumor anymore, they're a plague. They've been burning the villages that pay your clan for protection. You're sent to intercept their lead scout in the cedar forest. This isn't about stealing scrolls anymore, this is about elimination. When the ambush begins, it's not like the stories. It's fast, ugly, and quiet. You feel the weight of your chain sickle less as it catches a Fuma's throat. You don't feel pride, you feel a cold, hollow relief. You're the middle manager of death. You have to balance the mission's success against the survival of your boys. You start to see the genin look at you the way you used to look at the masters, with a mix of fear and desperate hope. The climb to the top of the clan is paved with shadows. If you want to see if we make it to the rank of Grandmaster, hit that subscribe button and join the inner circle. The Shogun is watching. Level 5. The Specialist. You've moved beyond the battlefield. You are a master of disguise, the living ghost. You spend months living as a monk, a gardener, or a court entertainer. You've learned that the best way to kill a target isn't to break into his castle, but to have him invite you in. You're currently deep inside the Fuma's territory, disguised as a wandering priest. You eat their food, you hear their prayers, and you learn their secrets. You're looking for their leader's weakness. Is it wine? Is it his children? Is it his pride? You realize that every man, no matter how powerful, has a crack in his armor. Your job is to find it and wait. The tension is constant. One slip in your dialect or a single callus in the wrong place on your hand could give you away. You live in a world of lies, and sometimes you forget which face is your own. Level 6. The Jonin. You don't go on missions anymore, you create them. You sit in the dark rooms where the fate of provinces is decided. You're the strategist. The shogun himself has sent a secret envoy to your clan. He wants the Fuma wiped out, not just defeated. He wants their bloodline ended. You're the one who has to calculate the cost. How many men will you lose? How many villages must burn to lure them out? You look at the younger genin in the courtyard and you see their faces, full of the same fire you had 20 years ago. You know most of them won't survive the week because of the orders you're about to sign. You realize that power isn't about the sword. It's about the pen and the shadow. You've become the thing you used to fear in the scrap phase. You are the architect of the invisible war. Level 7. The Cage. The Fuma clan is gone. You led the final assault yourself, moving through the smoke like a vengeful spirit. You stood over their leader as his fortress crumbled around him. He asked you for a warrior's death, but you gave him a ninja's death. Quiet, efficient, and unremembered. Now you sit at the right hand of the shogun, but you are not his friend. You are his nightmare's insurance. You run a network of spies that stretches from the snowy north to the southern ports. You know what every lord eats for breakfast and who they're sleeping with. You are the invisible spine of the nation. But the higher you climb, the lonelier the view becomes. You can't trust your students because you taught them too well. You can't trust the shogun because he fears what you know. You sleep with your back to the wall and you never eat the same meal twice. Level 8. The Shinobi no Mono. You've survived it all. The poison, the blades, the betrayals, and the years. You've retired to the mountains where you began, but you are not a farmer. You are the living memory of the clan. You watch the new scraps trembling on their wooden posts in the stream. You see yourself in them. One of them falls, and you see the flicker of shame in his eyes. You don't use the bamboo staff. You just look at him. He gets back up. You've realized that the greatest secret of the ninja isn't how to kill or how to hide. It's how to endure. Nin means to endure. You look at the notched blade on the rack, the one that ended the Fuma line. It's a piece of history now. You realize that the individual dies, but the shadow remains. You've built an empire that no one can see, a history that no one will read, and a legacy that is written in the silence of the night. You take a breath of the cold mountain air. You were a tag-along, a runner, a thief, and a killer. Now you are just a teacher, and that is the hardest rank of all. The world thinks the age of the shinobi is ending. They think the new guns and the new ways will bring light to the dark corners of the world. Let them think that. You know the truth. As long as there is power, there will be shadows. As long as there are secrets, there will be someone to steal them. You close your eyes, listening to the sound of the wind through the pines. Somewhere, in a city far away, a genin is crouched on a roof, waiting for the wind to blow. The cycle continues. You've reached the final rank, the one where you no longer need a name, or a face, or a blade. You are the shadow itself, and the shadow never dies.